from somewhere in the perpetual night of space, there comes a garbled cry for help. A starship is in distress and calls for aid. Aid is on its way. But the 7 worlds of the L370 star system are gone. All that is left are fields of asteroids and dust. Beyond L370, another system, L374, has suffered a similar catastrophe. There are only 2 planets left, and amongst the shattered wreckage of worlds, there drifts a nearly lifeless, powerless ship, the Constellation. What force could lay waste to so many star systems? The Doomsday Machine is one of my personal favourites from the 1960s TV series, possibly my number 1. It is one of those episodes that could have served as inspiration for a feature film, just as The Changeling inspired the motion picture and Space Seed The Wrath of Khan. Of course, we might argue that V'ger is an echo of the Planet Killer, a giant spacefaring machine from beyond our galaxy, exhibiting power beyond anything the Enterprise is capable of. I don't usually go in for the remastering of television and films. Hello Star Wars, but the remastered version of the Doomsday Machine is an improvement. The Planet Killer itself, the Enterprise, and the Constellation all benefit from the 21st century digital updating. Obviously, my Blender work cannot hope to match the studio's digital effects artisans, but hopefully it will suffice to illustrate this video. And if you like this video, then press the like button, share it on social media, the video, not the button, because that would be weird, and subscribe to this channel. If you don't like this video, then seek out 69 Police by David Holmes, listen, chill, and find that your life is suddenly so much better. A doomsday machine or device is a concept rather than an actuality, a weapon so powerful it could destroy the world, or at least all of us, like a giant meteor or TikTok. It was theorized that the rumor of such a doomsday device would be such a deterrent that no enemy nation with a gram of sense would risk it. The concept was inspired by the development of the atomic bomb and then the hydrogen bomb, as mentioned in episode dialogue. But any such super-duper uber weapon would be a bluff, rather like, say, Corbomite. Happily, no such doomsday device has been created. Yet. Although, give it time. There is the chilling plausibility of a real doomsday machine. Not here, but out there, amongst the stars. Given the number of star systems and the number of planets likely to be in those systems, and given how late in cosmic history we humans have made our appearance, and how many great spacefaring civilizations have had time to rise and fall, it would be a surprise if some automated weapon of sorts was not drifting about. Hopefully, it would be very dead. In the Doomsday Machine, however, such a powerful automated alien weapon is not dead, as the Constellation has discovered. It is in this episode we are introduced to a sister ship of the Enterprise. So similar, so familiar, the Constellation NCC 1017 is a warning. She mirrors, visually, the Enterprise, offering us a possible fate for our hero's ship. The Constellation is found deserted, every one of her 400-strong crew gone, with the exception of her commanding officer, Commodore Matt Decker. We see main engineering, we see corridors, all redresses of the Enterprise set. In the original unmastered episode, the constellation was a plastic AMT model of the Enterprise, but with the name and hull registry changed. If they had simply swapped the last 2 digits of that registry, much future fan flummoxation would have been avoided. NCC 1710 instead of NCC 1017. But then, where would the fun in that be? This latter registry was retained in the remastering, understandably so. The temptation must have been there, but the effects team kept their work faithful to the original. A damage control party from the Enterprise boards. They find all the power plants offline, dead. Reserve energy banks are running at very low power levels. Warp engines are beyond repair, at least without a dry dock. Intriguingly, the antimatter in the warp drive pods have been deactivated. The impulse engine's control circuits have been fused solid, although those for the warp drive do not seem to have had the same problem. The ship's computer remains operable, however, and Matt Decker is found alive. He is suffering from survivor's guilt, a guilt made more acute by the knowledge he orders his crew down to the surface of the very planet that was next on the Planet Killer's menu. Decker survived. Everyone else perished. The Doomsday Machine itself, the Planet Killer, soon makes its appearance. Its shape is reminiscent of a short, gobby worm, or an eel with a particularly large mouth. Nothing but mouth and tail. No bridge, no crew accommodation. A length estimated at about 2.7 kilometers. Its propulsion system is described as total conversion drive. The Planet Killer is a source of subspace interference, which cuts off communications with Starfleet Command. Worse still, it feeds on the rubble of shattered worlds. Its origins are a mystery. Course calculations suggest an intergalactic origin, from somewhere beyond the Milky Way galaxy. An alien machine of unknown antiquity. We can suppose it was built as part of a deadly arsenal for a war long ended. It might have been lost in the fighting, misplaced, or perhaps the civilization that built it was itself destroyed. It is reportedly built of neutronium, making its hull virtually indestructible. Although the Enterprise does give it a go. Neutronium is theorized to be very dense, theorized because the element does not exist. The theoretical element 0, as it is also known, has its electron shields or shells collapsed, allowing the nucleus of one atom to come into contact with another. This would make neutronium dense and heavy. Very heavy. Indeed, it is pointed out on the website Ex Astris Scientia that a hull of neutronium would be too heavy to move or even hold its shape. The Planet Killer's primary weapon, indeed its only weapon as far as we can tell, is the anti-proton beam weapon that reduces worlds to waste. But the Planet Killer is surrounded by a programmed defense field which detects energy sources within that field and triggers hostile action. And the power cells of starships draw it on towards the still living Enterprise. The Doomsday Machine is defeated, of course. The Constellation's impulse engines overload as she is run into the mouth of the Planet Killer, and we get a fusion explosion, the equivalent of 97.835 megatons. That's a lot of megatons. The largest nuclear bomb ever detonated was the Soviet Tsar Bomba at 50 megatons. The lifeless hulk of the planet killer remains after the conclusion of the episode. What happened to it? Starfleet would hardly leave a vast alien machine to orbit a star. Scientists would want to crawl all over it, seeking answers. We don't hear of it again. And yet, what a tantalizing artifact. Another question, and one briefly considered in the coda of the episode: how many others might still be out there? If one survived, was this down to luck, random chance, or deliberate murderous malice from an alien race bent on the destruction of other worlds? A civilization that could have created a vast doomsday machine with a hull of neutronium would have built other artifacts capable of surviving eons. What else is out there?